Hi, I'm Patty Mayer, Director of Adult Faith Formation here at Our Lady's Immaculate Heart. And today we're going to talk about Rule 5 from our Living Joy book. So Rule 5 is engage your body in the battle for joy. So this is one of those rules that I can do really, really well at, and then I can do really, really poorly at for a while. I seem to be motivated by having a goal in mind, whether it's our trip that we took last year to Colorado, or I've done a couple other walking or hiking pilgrimages. And then I can get really on with moving my body. And then there's times when it's just not quite as easy to get out and move my body as I would like it to be. And those excuses are pretty easy to put into place and to convince myself not to do this. But I also know the value, the huge value of moving my body and getting out and exercising intentionally or even unintentionally, just getting out and moving. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to hear from a couple of parishioners who work in fields that encourage people to move their body and help people to be able to move their body. And so let's hear what they have to tell us about maybe some tips that'll help us to eliminate some of those excuses or overcome those excuses that keep us from moving our body, and that may challenge us to get out there and move a little bit more.
Hi, I'm Jody Larson. I teach health and PE at Ankeny Centennial High School. Our rule for today is to engage your body. So I'm here to talk a little bit about the way I prefer to move my body, especially as we've gone through the last couple years with COVID. So I think for all of us, the ability to just get outside and walk is one of the best ways to engage your body. So I like to, depending on my mood for the day, sometimes I like to have my accountability partner, somebody to walk with, so I can socialize with them and visit as I walk, so that it gives me that social need that I might need for the day. Other days I choose to walk by myself. It's a day where I just need to unplug from all the electronics and screens in our life, and I like to get outside, enjoy the nature, just enjoy the sounds, the sights, all the things around us. To be able just to appreciate. It may be to unwind my brain, to find my happy place. It might be to think about things I'm grateful for when I'm walking. And sometimes it's just to hear the sights and the sounds of being outdoors. It's something we can do. It doesn't cost money. We all have time to go out. You can walk a little bit. You can walk a long ways. I know we're getting ready to head into the winter. One of my favorite quotes that I often have to remind myself of in Iowa is that there's no bad weather, just bad clothing. So we can bundle up, go outside when there's snow on the ground, enjoy the beauty of the snow, the trees, those types of things. So for me, just getting outdoors, being able to be outside, research will say that moving our body, brings the happy endorphins to help us feel better, but also that nature in and of itself helps lower our heart rate, helps lower our stress levels, and it brings joy to us by being outside. So I think for me, combining the two, nature and walking, you can bring social aspect in it if you want. Had a great idea told me today is like, if there's somebody you haven't connected with, it's a great time to walk and talk. You can socially distance with a friend from far away. I think that's a great idea. And my daughter in college and I sometimes will do the sweaty selfies to encourage each other to get out and move, so that we're holding each other accountable that way as well.
So how do we move our bodies to create joy? For everybody, it's going to be a little bit different. For me, that concept of moving my body really equates to me going out for runs. And I try to do that on a daily basis, take a few days off here and there. But running is how I find joy. Not only is it a stress reliever, it just relaxes me from maybe the busyness of the day or maybe the trials and tribulations of the day. It allows me to kind of think clearly before, during, and after the run. And so just going out for a run, whether for me, I try to get 4 miles in each day. That's something that I can do. Now, most people aren't that insane to where they love going out and love running. You have to be a special type of crazy in order to do that. And so, what I really like to do is think back and reflect on childhood experiences and how that type of running when we were children, it makes us feel a little younger, a little more spry. And we're all getting up there in age, and having some time to reflect and think back on our childhood or relive our childhood experiences. That's what running is about for me, as well as the adult reasons for it, the stress relief and anxiety relief and things of that nature. So I do think back to when I'm a child. When I was a child, I ran everywhere. We all did. We ran out of the house to the car, or out of the house down the streets to the neighbor's house to play games with our friends who were neighbors. We would run into the grocery store and run out of the grocery store, sometimes not looking, and our parents having heart attacks when we ran almost out into the parking lot uncovered. And so those childhood experiences, we're always thinking about how running is in our lives that entire time, and we forget about that as we get older, and running becomes more cumbersome for us. It becomes more labored for us, and it's not an experience that we have where we were fully filled with joy at that time, and that innocence and that naivete that we had during childhood. And so I always like to think back when I'm having a hard run or a hard day out there, and I go back and I play games with myself in my head mentally if I'm running by myself, or maybe just with the friends that I'm running with. I might try to just play tag with the next light pole of the street, or look down at the sidewalk and use my feet to play a game with the sidewalk squares or rectangles there, and try not to get more than, for the bigger ones, no more than 3 steps in a square, or no more than 2 steps in a square if they're smaller squared sections of the sidewalk, and just have some fun and have some games there, and some game time there with myself. And it takes your mind off of the laborious part of running, and it allows you to relive that childhood joy. So go out, whether it's down the street, just up the block, around your house, maybe chasing or having fun with your children or your grandchildren or your nieces and nephews, whatever it is. Just go out and try to find that childhood joy and relive that childhood joy that you had when you were a child, with some sort of run or activity of that nature. That's how we move our bodies to create joy.
I engage my body through 2 different ways. The first is physical activity, and then the second is nutrition. Most days, I get up and join my friends at the gym. I like joining people for exercise, so it might be an exercise class, or joining them outside for a bike ride or a walk, maybe going for a swim. So my challenge to you is to find an activity that you enjoy. It may be joining people at the gym, going for a walk, or dancing around the house with your children. Whatever, just to keep you moving. The second thing is nutrition. My nutrition plan is fairly simple. It basically is eating the God-given foods. So things that are alive, things that were alive in nature, as far as plants and vegetables, animals, fish, and of course water is your primary source of hydration. So that's what makes my body feel the best, instead of eating the man-made processed foods. So again, just trying to find the thing that makes you function and feel your best based upon your nutrition plan.